he started. Aki's mind went numb. Did they catch my trick? If the cheating in his family brand was exposed, the entire business could be ruined. Now there was only one thought: finish the game quickly and destroy the evidence. But Mento didn't give any chance. In a single go, he flipped all 54 cards correctly. Mento said, both decks have the same design. I just had to identify the cards that were marked and whose suits matched. If you use another marked deck next time, I'll win again. Only now did Anki realize that she had underestimated the game. She was still thinking, this is all just a fun game. But after losing, she was completely shattered. Just a while ago, she was strutting around as the rich queen, but now she was on the ground, crying and begging for forgiveness. Mento had now completely lost interest in her. Aki, who was a member of the student council, was now deeply shaken by her defeat, and the council was not going to let her off so easily. Now it's the turn of the true masters of the gambling world. Who called them here? Be quiet. Now the question is, what should be done with this girl who's like a snake, a butterfly, a fly? This is going to be interesting. The new queen of this school is completely enjoying herself. On the very first day, 3 students told her, "You're just a cheap stray cat." She was made fun of in front of the whole class, but surprisingly, she was neither angry nor embarrassed. Instead, she started meowing in a cat voice. It's as if she's actually become addicted to being a cat. Now, Mento wanted to gamble even more. The girl whom everyone considered an icon until yesterday had now become the biggest laughingstock, and the reason was her crushing defeat in the last gamble. Because of that loss, she was buried under millions in debt, and the students turned her into a servant-like cat. If she wanted to erase this disgraceful identity, she had to win a public battle. But in front of her were only professional-level gamblers. As expected, she lost badly once again. Not only could she not clear her name, but the pit of debt had now become even deeper. It was impossible to recover from this, even in a lifetime. The craziest rule of the public battle, there was no betting limit. You could wager as much money as you wanted. And in this extreme situation, Mento was full of energy. But this time, her opponent was no ordinary person. The president of the Student Research Club. A combination of brains and money meant destruction, and his gambling style was also perfectly psycho level. This time, the game was life and death. The rules were as follows. 10 small swords are placed in a hot pot. Then they are dropped onto the board. Wherever a sword lands, that spot becomes its number. If the blade of the sword points upward, you win 30 times your bet. But if the handle points upward, you lose 30 times your bet. In other words, there's no limit to the bet. The risk and thrill are unlimited. Mento immediately put 10 chips on the line. But by now, she had figured something out. Looking at the design of the board, she became suspicious. The numbers in the middle, those less than 20, had a higher chance of the sword landing on them. But when the swords fell, the numbers that came up were 17 and 30, which was the exact opposite of Mento's prediction. Fortunately, the president had also placed his bet on the number 16, so the entire round of the game ultimately ended in a complete and utter tie. Mento then realized that the previous young girl, whom everyone present had been calling the early winner, was actually the one who had lost.